Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 15 of the Together We Grow podcast. My name is Paul Main.
And I'm Tamer Main.
And we welcome you along to this. We are the Home Fragrance Academy, and we are the platform where we teach home fragrance business owners how to start, grow, scale their own businesses. We did the exact same thing. We sold our business about 8 months ago, six to 8 months ago. And now we're teaching people how to do the same thing, all of the different things from marketing and getting set up and getting your first customers, scaling up to hundreds of thousands of orders. And we love doing it, don't we, Tamer?
We certainly do. And this is our first episode of our podcast in 2025.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. And this episode is going to be all about finding a niche, which is a niche audience, a niche segment where you can create products for, which will help to grow your business significantly.
And ultimately make it easier to market.
Absolutely right. So, shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
So finding a niche, basically, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and why is it important, essentially, as well?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, a niche is, how we talk about this? When people start home fragrance businesses, we work with a lot of people now who do this, and we talk to lots of different companies, and the common trend is that they try to create products for everybody.
Yeah.
So there's no specific scent that they're trying to create. They're not creating like a brand around their fragrances. They're using the same fragrances that most companies use, and they're targeting sort of anybody, really, sort of anybody that's interested. And that might make sense to you because you want a bigger audience as possible, don't you? You're not going to limit your products. You're not going to say, oh no, these are for everybody. Everyone can enjoy these. That might make perfect sense to you. And it's true, isn't it? It is true that these products are suitable for everybody. But the problem is trying to grow a business like that in an audience where you're targeting everybody.
When everybody else is targeting everybody.
When everyone else is doing the same thing, is going to be very hard. And then it comes down to two things. Your marketing budget, your advertising budget for Facebook ads and paid ads to get your name out there above everybody else.
To be honest, most people, especially at the beginning, have a very, very small budget.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what it comes down to, isn't it? Is that marketing budget to really get it out there. And that's the thing that people are going to struggle with in this industry. So yeah, we're going to talk about why you need to actually find a niche and what that is, how you can find one, give you some ideas of some as well, and what that could actually mean for you.
Just because you niche down in a certain area doesn't actually mean that it restricts you, does it? It doesn't mean that not everybody's going to be able to see your ads, and not everybody's going to be able to enjoy your products as well.
Exactly.
It doesn't hamper you.
No, that's right. All it does is when you create a product and a brand that targets a specific group of people, anyone can buy it, of course they can, but it means that your messaging, your adverts, your branding, everything is targeted to that one specific group of people. And therefore, when that specific group of people see your products, they can immediately see that they are made for them, as opposed to just a generic thing. So straight away, they are more invested, more interested in what it is you're selling.
And more likely to buy.
And there you go. And if you do this properly, then that niche audience could still be 500,000, 1 million people. How many of those people do you need to actually buy your products for you to have a wonderfully successful business?
Not that many, no.
When we first started Cozy Aromas, we didn't know about this. We didn't do this. We didn't target a niche. We just targeted products for everybody.
Yep.
But that worked for us because this was 7 years ago now.
It's a different sort of time now, isn't it, with marketing?
Yeah.
There's not so many competition back then either, was it?
That's it. So the competition was much lower, wasn't it? Facebook ads were much cheaper, and it didn't take a lot to convince these people to actually place an order. And it worked for us. But over the years, as things in this industry becomes a lot more competitive, then you need to think about these different things. And bear in mind that we launched Waxkind only in beginning part of 2023.
Yeah.
So not even 2 years ago now. And we haven't been involved in it for 6 to 8 months, or however long
Yeah.
it's been. So, and that was a very successful brand when we
It
launched
was.
it because we targeted a niche. And our niche audience were 30 to 50-year-old women who were more affluent, lived in more affluent areas, but were very environmentally conscious.
Yeah.
So our products were targeting that specific type of audience. We donated trees to the, or we paid for trees, didn't we, to the National Trust. The products, the packaging was all compostable, and there was nothing nasty in them. And they were wonderful products and a wonderful brand. We put a lot of time and effort into it. So that even shows you that even recently, if you create a product and a brand which is targeting a specific group of people, it can still be incredibly successful. And that
definitely can.
Yeah, and that product, that brand now is stocked in garden centres all over the country. We really wanted to focus on wholesale for that particular brand, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I mean, in one of the biggest garden centres in the east of England that we go to, that you love, we're in there. In fact, Waxkind is actually featured quite highly in there, isn't it? It's in a good prominent location. So it all comes down to branding and marketing, and make sure you got your margin rights and all of that kind of stuff, really. But that just shows you that it can be done, and don't be afraid to niche down.
That's only going to help you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And there's so many different types of niches that you can do. There's pretty much anything you can think of. So one of the ones that you've mentioned in the past, just like off the cuff, was like book lovers. So you could do ones around like book clubs or different genres of books.
So the reason why I mentioned this one, we've never done it before,
No.
but there's a company in America, I don't even know if they're still going now, a candle company called Frostbeard Studio. Frostbeard Studio. Have a look. If you're listening to this, have a look at them. They create candles for book lovers. That's their audience. So they'll create a candle which is a wonderful scent, a deep musky, whatever kind of scent, and they'll call it something which is Harry Potter related, for example. So if you had a range of candles, obviously you've got to be careful of trademarks and everything, but if you had a range of candles which were wizard related candles, and you targeted those to Harry Potter fans, then that is going to capture their imagination, capture their attention, especially if you made them collectible as well. So there's one for each house, each Harry Potter house or each Harry Potter character. Tamer's looking at me funny now because I don't really like Harry Potter or watch it, whereas Tamer's a big Harry Potter fan. So she's wondering how I'm going to explain all this stuff. But you see what I mean? And you can do that for all these different types of book genres. It could be films. You could do it based on you can create a collection based on different film collections like Transformers or whatever. I don't know, but you know what I mean.
You could do it based on absolutely anything, even destinations.
Yeah, see, destinations is great. I love that one. We've never done that, but that's a really good one because let's say you love Italy, and you also got to think about what things you enjoy doing yourself as well.
Yeah, so if you have a bit of passion behind your products, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. So let's say you love traveling, you can create an Italian range, and you can do your research, finding all of these wonderful fragrances to do with Italy. You can then create a brand, create products which are named on different areas of Italy, as an example, and then you can target people that love traveling to Italy. You can target Italian people that live in the UK.
Yeah, so they can bring a bit of home to them.
You can really, if you really sit down and think about that, how niche you can make that audience. But of course, again, that's a huge audience still. And you can create a wonderfully successful business from that. And if you start doing something like that, you've niched down, there's nothing stopping you from expanding that niche and creating another one at a later date. But I would always recommend, when people are starting their business, I would absolutely always recommend starting with a niche. Otherwise, it's going to be hard. It will be hard.
And it also just makes it easier for you to focus your marketing as well. Not only do you know who you're targeting, but it makes it easier for you to get your messaging across, and you know what sort of thing you're going to say because you know who's going to essentially be reading it and viewing it. So it makes it a bit easier to come up with the ideas.
Yeah, it does. It does. It makes the whole thing so much easier. Because let's just run with that Italian idea, shall we?
Yeah.
You've created a range of products which are focused on Italy. areas in Italy, all this kind of stuff. Every single piece of marketing and then video and everything you create will all have that Italian kind of theme to it. You haven't got to think about, you haven't got to try and think about what theme to base this video on, or what shall I create today. It's going to be Italian. It's going to be focused on that. So then you can, all of your different products, let's say they're focused on different cities. So you've got Rome, Milan, whatever else. You can then look at those cities. Let's take Rome. Obviously, that's very ancient there. So then you straight away, that's got your theme in your head, what you can create imagery, graphic wise, videos, all that kind of stuff.
Gladiator style.
Yeah, however you want to do it, I don't know.
Just opens up them ideas, doesn't it? It gets your brain ticking.
Yeah, obviously we're just thinking on the spot now, but straight away that's a really good one. If we were to create another home fragrance brand, we would 100% be in a niche category somewhere. 100%. We don't know where that would be, but destinations would be good. I've spoken about book lovers a lot. I'm not a book lover, but I know you do like that kind of stuff. Yeah. If that's me, I'll do football grounds, but I don't think. But yeah, that's a very niche audience.
Good
but
work.
yeah, I'm not sure.
But you could use that. So do football grounds, but it's typically more masculine, isn't it? So instead of creating wax melts and candles, maybe make products that are more suited towards men. So car fresheners, room sprays.
But saying that, actually, we have a Home Fragrance Academy member who we actually met in the summer.
Yep.
Who's in our Facebook group, and who runs a company called Molecule Home Fragrance, and creates some wonderful products. But actually, she now creates white label products for football grounds.
Yep.
So she's done one for Ipswich Town Football Club. Recently was Fulham Football Club. So she creates a range of products branded for them. So that shows you there is a niche there as well.
There is.
So it's a niche in anything. There really is. Just think about something you're interested in, and think about how you can turn that into a home fragrance brand. It just works. It will work. It really will work.
And like I said earlier, that if you're interested in it, people will be able to tell that you're interested in it. They'll be able to see your passion behind it, and it makes it easier to create the content and to sell your products if you're passionate about them.
Yeah, it really will. Absolutely. I think the problem with not doing that, and many people don't do that, their business typically won't last very long.
Yeah.
And I say typically because, of course, often they do. But this is just based on our experience of what we've seen.
There's always the odd unicorn here and there, isn't it?
And the reason, I'll tell you the reason why I see this. You've launched a business, okay, just you working from home, you listening to this now, working from home. You've launched a home fragrance business, and you've got 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know, however many fragrances you've got. These fragrances all come from middlemen suppliers such as Craft HQ, Supplies for Candles, Craftastic, Craftovator, Candle Shack. That's where they've come from. So you can imagine all of the other competitors, all the other people out there, they've got the same fragrances as you.
Yep.
Your logo was probably created on something like Canva, using one of their logo templates, which is brilliant. Nothing wrong with that at all. But think about all the other people that have got similar logos to you.
Yep.
Your website is one of the free themes on Shopify, which is what we'd recommend anyway.
Yeah.
Your adverts, your marketing is all the same as everybody else because you don't know any different. And that's not a criticism at all. That's just what I've noticed. And when that happens, customers, your audience, which is everybody, because you haven't niched down, have so much choice out there that it then becomes a case of competing on price. And when you're competing on price and you're doing 10 snap bars for £10 or to whatever, something silly like that, then it's just a race to the bottom, because then all it takes is for one of your competitors that sell the same stuff as you to then do it 10 for £9.
Yeah.
And then you'll do 10 for £8.50. It's just a race down and down and down. And when you're in that battle, it then becomes a volume game where you need a lot of orders to make it worthwhile. The problem is your customers, because you're targeting everybody, they have so much choice that
they're not loyal.
Your name is going to be lost in this huge group of companies that all sell the same stuff. They're not going to be loyal. You're absolutely right. And they're just going to be hunting around on price. And therefore, you're not going to get that volume unless you're spending a lot of money on Facebook ads. But you can't spend a lot of money on Facebook ads because your margin's not there.
And as well as when you're competing on price like that, you are devaluing your product as well.
Your margins, yeah, exactly, yeah. And your margin's not going to be there on Facebook ads. But what's worse than that is because your audience isn't loyal, because they're very fickle, they can go anywhere they like, it means your retention rates are going to be very low. So therefore, you're not going to make profit there. And then before you know it, you're tired of working 24/7 to try and pay your bills, and you fall out of love with your business and you're wondering what to do. And that was a bit of a ramble, bit of a story there, but that's what we see all the time. That is how it goes. If you are in that kind of trap at the moment,
If you're in that sort of rut.
that rut at the moment, it's not too late.
No.
Keep running, doing things as you are now, but on the side, under your same brand and everything, create a niche collection. Work out who that audience is. Really work it out. Find their interests. What? Let's say go down the Italian route. Who is it you're going to be targeting? What other things are they interested in? Do your customer research. Look at all of these different Facebook pages, Instagram profiles that are to do with Italian travel. Look at their followers, see where they are, see what other things they're following. Get a grasp of what this audience is interested in. Create yourself a range of beautiful products. Create yourself a no-brainer offer, which we talk about a lot. Create yourself a wonderful landing page where people land on this and it's incredibly convincing for them to place the order button. We can talk about that in more detail. And then target those audiences with some ads, or not necessarily with ads, but just with content marketing.
Yeah. Content marketing obviously is free typically, but it does take longer to sort of get going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you can do that alongside running as normal and paying your ads like you normally would, so that then that can start to sort of kick in and be seen by everybody.
Exactly. And I guarantee if that's all done properly, that will be much more successful than trying to just get as many people as you possibly can. It really will. Because, I don't know. Sometimes I find it difficult to explain things in a certain way.
Articulate it.
If you don't have a niche, you are one of 20,000 other people competing for all of these companies. How are you going to stand out? But if you are targeting a niche, like you are targeting Italian people in the UK, as an example, that is still going to be large, but that is so much more smaller, and your messaging can be so much more targeted to them.
Yeah, be more direct with your marketing and your messaging, so it's easier for people to see that that's a product and a brand for them.
That's it. And it works.
It certainly does.
But there's obviously a lot more to it than that. You've got your niche. Wonderful. You've got your niche products. That's all great. Okay. But to actually really grow this business and to get it off the ground and convince people to buy and then buy from you again and again and again, there's multiple levels to this. We always recommend using Facebook ads because it works.
Yep.
It does work.
Yep.
Okay. We see comments where people saying Facebook ads don't work for me. They do. You're just not doing it properly.
Yep.
And Facebook ads isn't actually that difficult or that much of a minefield. It really isn't. What it is think about it. Facebook ads, the job of that is to put your advert in front of an audience of people.
You choose the audience.
Based on that, it works because that's what it does. You need to make sure the audience you're putting it in front of is correct, is the right audience. You need to make sure that your advert is convincing enough for them to actually want to click on the link. So think about that. That's why we talk about a no-brainer offer, targeting a specific niche audience, because then your advert straight away becomes hyper relevant to that person.
It resonates with that person.
Exactly. And then once they click on that, they then go through to your website, your landing page.
So that has to be optimized right. It has to look good. It has to be convincing and have all the information available really quickly.
Yeah. And that information is high quality photos, a description which explains what the product is, how to use it, what it smells like. They want to see reviews from customers, and I'm sure you've got some of those. They want to see free shipping thresholds. They want to know when they're going to get it, and you can get an app on Shopify which you can program in, and it will sort of give people an indication when they're going to receive it. They want to know where the add to basket or buy now button is. So that needs to be big, bold, in your face. And they also want to have some reassurance as well. So they want to know that you have a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know you accept refunds or accept returns. They want to know how they can pay, what payment methods they take. They want to know that you're secure. All of that kind of stuff. There's a lot to it. And then once you've got all of that right, hopefully these people actually place an order with you.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, on e-commerce, you'll be lucky if you get 5%, very lucky. If you get 5% of your visitors place an order with you, that's good. Okay.
But just because they haven't placed an order that time doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to convert them into a paying customer. Sometimes things happen in life. Somebody will visit a website and they get called away for something, or they get a phone call, something happens, but you can then retarget these people with follow-up ads to be like, don't forget, you've got this no-brainer offer, and they're like, oh, I knew there was something I was looking at.
Absolutely, absolutely right. That's a very good point. I forgot about that. So retargeting ads, of course, that's incredibly important. And also, whilst they're on your website, you can have an email pop-up come up to encourage them to, if they're not ready to place an order now, to submit their email address. But you want to be clever with that. Don't just have it pop up straight away. You can have something called an exit intent pop up. And that, basically what that means is your device that the person's using or their computer will know the characteristics of when they are about to exit the page.
It's very clever.
So on a computer, it's when your cursor goes right to the top of the page really quick, because that's where the cross is. And it will sense when that's happening, and it will pop up saying, join our mailing list and get something for free or get a discount or something like that. And then once you've got all these people actually ordering from you, that's when you need to have your retention strategies in place, which is your automated emails based on order level numbers and all blah, 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 blah. I talk about this a lot. I've got a free course on the homefragrance.academy website all about this. It's called the retention engine. And when you get all of that in place and working, it's then a machine that you just continually oil these different parts to make sure it's running as optimal as possible.
At the same time, you're funneling the people in via the Facebook ads into the top. And hopefully they're just going to keep going through all of your funnels and end up becoming loyal customers.
When it's a well-oiled machine, therefore your conversion rates are nice and high, your retention rates are looking good, it's then a case of funneling more people into it. And you do that by increasing your ad budget, expanding your audience, who you're targeting, and expanding different advertising platforms. Keeping an eye on all of your metrics to make sure it's still running as smoothly as possible. That's what we did. That's how we grew up. That's how we grew our business.
And don't be afraid to change things as well.
Exactly.
Just because an advert's working now doesn't mean it's going to be the exact same advert that's going to work forever. You need to add in new creative, different options and let them test against each other and find out what's working at that time.
Yep, exactly. So that was at the beginning of this podcast, we were talking about the niche, finding your niche and everything. And then we kind of went on to talk more about sort of how to convert these people. But it all boils down to the same thing: is you need to find that niche. If you don't, then what you'll find is you'll have lots of people going to your website, nobody placing orders, or your conversion rate will be very, very small. Once you've got a niche, your conversion rate will be much higher. I know this because we did it. Obviously, Cozy Roamers, we didn't have a niche, but because we were early to it, we became one of the larger ones in the UK. And we had a very loyal audience because we worked hard on that. But Waxkind, we did have a niche. And so when we also had a niche with Craft HQ because we were focused on unique fragrances that the other companies didn't have, basically. So we know the importance of a niche, and it works. And historically as well, in my previous years, building e-commerce brands for other companies, we focus on niches. We focused on conversion rates on websites, and it just works. Okay, I've seen it all the time. So that's what you should do. That's what I think you should do anyway.
And I agree with you as well.
Yeah. I'd love to know what other people think about this, though. I mean, just please do let us know. But that was a relatively short podcast to get the new year going.
That was, wasn't it? I do have a quick quote and a shout out as well.
It's been a couple of weeks since we did one of these, and I've forgotten the process. I forgot Tamer's got our weekly shout out and our weekly quote, isn't she? Over to you.
He hasn't got a clue what we're doing, guys. Okay, my quote to start off of 2025 is: "The expert in everything was once a beginner." So I quite like that you're not going to start off knowing everything, and at the end of the day, nobody knows everything. You've got to continually learn and evolve and try new things to then slowly become an expert in your own field.
One of my favorite entrepreneurs, James Sinclair, what he describes this is as a business owner, you should be a GP, a general practitioner, a general doctor who knows a little bit about everything. But then if you need specific help, then you'll hire specialists, you'll hire surgeons to folk who have full experience in that one thing. So if you really need help with landing pages, then find someone who is an expert in landing pages who can create that for you. But you as a business owner need to be the GP who sort of knows a little bit about everything.
That's really good,
It's good, isn't
actually. I do like that. He's pretty good, isn't he,
He
James?
is.
And my shout out this time goes to Debs from Cute Bomb. So last year she did a lot of her markets and she reconfigured all of her displays and did a lot of work on it and actually managed to triple her sales in her last
Oh, wow.
market, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well done, Debs.
So if you want to have a look at her, check out Cute Bomb on Etsy. She makes some beautiful.
Yeah, well done, Debs. We love those kind of things, don't we?
We certainly do. And I'd had that one saved ready to start the new
Good.
year with because it's a lovely positive one and it's about being out in markets as well. So it's not just online sales.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. All right. Well, I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that's everything. So
Don't need to round along much longer. Thanks
no,
everybody for listening to that. We really do appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much. Please do hit that subscribe button because we'd
yeah,
love you to be a member of YouTube. I don't think that's the right way of saying things, is it?
starting off
But
pretty well, isn't he?
if you listen to this on Spotify and Apple and what have you, please do make sure you follow us. And if you could leave a review, that'd be wonderful as well.
It certainly would. And in your review, don't just hit the stars. Just let us know what you think of the podcast, and if you've got any ideas for any future episodes, anything you'd need some help with, we'd love to create some podcasts around what you need help with specifically.
Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Brilliant. All right.
Mhm.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Bye bye.